Hi, I'm Frank Adornato, and thanks for tuning in again. In a recent video, I talked about some of the basic principles for a healthy eating plan. And since then, I've gotten back some questions asking me if I could expand upon two of the topics. The first being carbohydrates and the glycemic index, and the second being omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Let's start with carbohydrates. You may recall carbohydrates are the body's primary source of fuel, and therefore they should make up the majority of your daily caloric intake. About half of the daily calories should be in the form of carbohydrates. But carbohydrates come in different forms. The foods we eat contain carbohydrates that may be simple carbohydrates or the more complex carbohydrates. And the practical difference between the two is how quickly they're digested in the body. Simple carbohydrates or simple sugars are digested quickly. The complex carbohydrates are digested more slowly. And what this means is, if you eat a diet that's high in simple sugars, they're going to be digested quickly, and that causes a rapid increase in your blood sugar levels, which triggers the secretion of insulin, whose job it is to decrease blood sugar levels. So if you eat a lot of simple sugars, you're going to get cyclical fluctuations, ups and downs in your blood sugar levels, and this causes you to get hungry, it causes you to gain weight, and it also increases your risk for type 2 diabetes. If you eat a majority of complex carbohydrates in your diet, you're going to maintain a fairly steady threshold of blood sugar levels, and that's much better for you. Now this segues us over to the glycemic index. The glycemic index is an internationally recognized ranking system. It assigns a number between 0 and 100 to all carbohydrate-containing foods, and that number is a reflection of how quickly the food is digested. The higher ranking numbers, 70 and above particularly, tend to be the simple carbohydrates, those that are digested quickly. And the lower numbers, optimally below 50, tend to be those that are more complex and are digested more slowly. So if you go to glycemicindex.com, you will find hundreds upon hundreds of foods with their assigned glycemic index ranking. So when you put together your meals, try to focus on the more complex carbohydrates, those with a low glycemic index, and you'll be healthier and better for it. Now the second topic, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. These two are essential fatty acids, and what that means is your body doesn't manufacture them. You have to eat foods that contain them. Why do you want to get these into your system? Well, they help promote heart health, they strengthen your immune system, and they also have anti-inflammatory properties. But there is some controversy and debate among nutritionists and physicians about how much of each of the two omega fatty acids we should be eating. There's a lot more omega-6 fatty acids in our diet. It's found in eggs, chicken, and cereals, whereas the omega-3s are a little less common. They're found primarily in cold water fish. So we tend to get a lot more omega-6s in our regular diet, and nutritionists and physicians tend to believe that we should be eating or getting more omega-3s. The way to get them is eating cold water fish or taking a supplement. But if you do choose to take a supplement, I strongly recommend you speak to your nutritionist or your physician to make sure you get the right amount and the right balance, because the difference between the two could be as much as 20 to 1, with 20 parts of omega-3 and only 1 part of omega-6 fatty acids. I've also noticed that some of the food lines, such as Smart Balance, are starting to fortify their foods with omega-3 fatty acids. Their fat-free milk, their butter spread, and peanut butter, particularly I notice, have omega-3 fortified in there. So that's another source of omega-3 fatty acids. So that covers the two topics. I hope it answered the questions asked. If you'd like to know more about these two topics, or you have questions about other topics or other information, send me an email. I welcome all comments. I'd love to hear from you. Meanwhile, I look forward to seeing you in an upcoming video. And until then, you take care and train smart.